Hey everyone, welcome back to TechBit Academy. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the psychological secrets of digital design. We're going to find out exactly why some platforms feel like absolute magic, while others just leave us wanting to throw our devices out the window. If you've ever wondered what's going on behind the scenes to make a digital experience feel completely seamless, well, you are in the right place. So, why do some apps feel like second nature, while others feel like taking a calculus test? It all comes down to user experience. And to answer that question, we're exploring the final 5 of Nielsen's famous UX heuristics. These are basically the invisible rules governing everything from your favorite email app to that website you just used to order lunch. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to hit recognition versus recall, flexibility and efficiency, aesthetic minimalism, recovering from errors, and finally, helpful documentation. Let's get right to it. All right, section 1, recognition rather than recall, or simply put, minimizing memory load. You know, our short-term memory is actually pretty fragile. We can really only juggle about 7 items at any given time, give or take a couple. A truly well-designed interface respects this biological limit by using the computer's vast memory instead of yours. You should literally never be forced to remember information from one page to the next just to get something done. The system should always make your objects, your actions, and your options totally visible. Take Quora's search bar, for example. Instead of making you rack your brain to remember an exact specific phrase, the system jumps in with instant, recognizable options the second you start typing. It's doing the heavy lifting for you. You don't have to recall the exact wording of a question like, good books on user interface design. You just type a few letters, and boom, you instantly recognize what you're looking for from the drop-down menu. It completely removes that extra mental hurdle. Moving right along to section 2, flexibility and efficiency. This is all about catering to all users. This brings us to a really cool concept called accelerators. These are essentially unseen shortcuts that adapt the interface. So a total novice can use the system easily, but an expert, they can absolutely fly through it. Modern apps don't just force you into one way of doing things, they give you options to tailor the UI. The system provides these hidden pathways, so you can level up from beginner to expert without feeling like you're permanently stuck with training wheels. If you're a power user, these accelerators are absolute lifesavers. Consider this massive map of Photoshop keyboard shortcuts. Beginners are perfectly fine clicking through the visual menus, right? But the pros, they use these shortcuts to work at lightning speed, and it doesn't clutter up the main screen for the newbies. It's just a brilliant example of a system catering to both ends of the experience spectrum at the exact same time. Next up, section 3, aesthetic minimalism. Because let's face it, less is truly more. Get this, there's a really surprising statistic known as the 80-20 rule. In practice, 80% of users only ever touch about 20% of an app's features. Crazy, right? Yet, every time an app updates, they try to cram in more and more tools. But here's the catch. Every single extra unit of information on your screen actively competes for your attention, and it diminishes the visibility of the stuff that actually matters. Less really is more. The ultimate proof of this concept, the Google homepage. Just think for a second about the insane amount of data Google has at its fingertips. Yet, every single competing piece of visual noise has been meticulously stripped away to leave only what is absolutely necessary, the search bar. This beautifully clean design guarantees that the user's experience is fast and frictionless. They totally understand that good design equals good business. All right, on to section 4, recovering from errors, designing for our inevitable mistakes. Notice the stark contrast between these two approaches. On one side, you've got this frustrating code-heavy jargon that leaves you totally stranded. Who knows what that even means, right? But on the other side, you see a great example of empathetic design. It uses plain language, points out exactly what went wrong, and, most importantly, suggests a constructive solution. This is exactly how you guide a user safely out of a frustrating mistake. And you know, error recovery doesn't have to be cold and robotic. Check out this clever 404 page from eHarmony. It politely acknowledges the broken link, uses a highly appropriate broken heart graphic, and immediately offers a way forward. It's mature, it's empathetic, and it prevents a total dead end by guiding the user straight back to what they were trying to do in the first place. Finally, we arrive at section 5, helpful documentation, the user's absolute last resort. In a perfect world, a system wouldn't need a manual at all. But as a last resort, providing help is a necessary task. Really good documentation focuses 100% on the user's task by giving them concrete steps to follow. Having a super fast search function is vital so users don't lose their train of thought or visual focus. And honestly, you should always offer a clear emergency exit, like a quick link to real support staff right there in the footer.
You can see this nailed perfectly by the GoDaddy Help Center. By organizing their support into clear, distinct visual categories and slapping a prominent search bar right at the top of the page, they make sure users never feel abandoned. It cuts right to the chase, turning what could be a really high-friction moment into a super quick resolution.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought to chew on. Are we adapting to our computers, or are the best computers finally adapting to us? Every time you don't have to remember a complex password, or a quick shortcut saves you an hour of work, or an error message actually helps you instead of shouting code at you, you are experiencing invisible art. The hidden psychology behind the very screen you're looking at right now is constantly working to cater to your human needs. The absolute best design isn't just something you see, it's something you feel. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes open the next time you launch your favorite app.